With so many highly anticipated films releasing right around the corner, here's a film you definitely want to put on your radar and you don't want to miss. Wow, what a treat I have for you today. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, Echo Valley. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film, Echo Valley, which has a limited theatrical release on June 6th. And then will be releasing on Apple TV Plus June 13th. This was a treat. Now, granted, there's so many big projects, summer blockbusters, and other highly anticipated films, due to their IPs or whatever it may be, their marketing and whatnot. Echo Valley is truly a film you want to put on your must-watch list. This film was fantastic. And when I just go down the cast from Julianne Moore, from Sweeney to Donald Gleason to Fiona Shaw. I mean, this cast is stacked, and wow, they did not disappoint. And with that being said, this story is wildly unpredictable, and it really does come around in a way I wasn't expecting it to land the landing that it did. There was a lot of things happening, and at some point I was like, how is this all going to end? And then at some point I started to lose faith that, like, with all the good things that's happened so far, there's no way it's going to nail the landing, and it did. So up and down the board, this is a great film. And I will be the first to say, I have not been sold on Sweeney, but this one definitely has me coming around on her. And she is continuously showing her range. And she has a lot of other big roles coming down the line. But this one definitely has really put me in the positive side for her. Like, she really shows something in this. But the true star of this film is Julianne Moore, as you would expect. She plays Kate Garrett. Kate is Claire's mom, who Claire is played by Sydney. We'll come back to Claire in a minute. But Kate, she works on a farm in southern Pennsylvania, and at the same time, while she's operating this farm, this ranch that she's trained horses, she's coping with her personal loss. She has lost her partner just about a month or so ago, but like still very fresh, still very much in the grieving process, and we see that throughout the entirety of the film. But also there's so many other different things that are crashing around her. Like financially, she's not doing very good. Claire's dad isn't really supportive of Kate, and mainly because Kate enables Claire, who happens to be an addict. And Claire is one of those addicts that isn't getting any better. Yes, she's been to rehab, but now she is back out, and she just continuously digs this hole deeper and deeper, not only for herself, but for Kate. And of course, a mother will do anything to protect her daughter and will go to any lengths to protect her daughter. But much like I said with the father realizes that she is enabling her, and that just isn't good. And we definitely do see Kate in many situations where I wouldn't actually say her back is against the wall. Maybe she feels like it is, but we see her time and time again coming to save Claire and being a resource for Claire, but ultimately just is enabling Claire in all of her habits, which we know when it comes down to being an addict, it definitely is surrounded by money, which is the thing Kate doesn't have. Now, granted, all of that to say, because this is in the synopsis, and this is like such a huge part of this story, is that one day Claire shows up with blood, covered all in blood that isn't hers, and now Kate is having to decide what she has to do to protect her daughter. This all happens in about 40 minutes within the film, and with the film being about an hour and 40 minutes, that's an hour of what in the world is about to go down. And I'm telling you, no matter what you try to predict what's happening, it's literally one of the most unpredictable, wild stories that really ties a nice bow at the end of it. But when you have a mother like Kate, a struggling mother, just business isn't doing good, lost her wife, daughter keeps digging bigger and bigger holes for her, what is she to do, and I also think a person who don't have anything much to lose now becomes essentially dangerous. And even having that mindset, but also still trying to grieve and work through things, we just see a mother, Kate, that I do think is very, very familiar to a lot of folks. And mainly because we all know mothers would do anything to protect their kid, but to what ends would they do so? And we see a mother right here truly displaying the real mother instinct and mama bear sort of mindset of she's going to be there for her daughter no matter what. That being said, production-wise, there's some really impressive visuals. I really love the aquatic stuff. I love just the imagery around it. And yeah, this is a lot of good shots. But man, I love the shots that the aquatic stuff that they did underwater, and sort of the imagery around it. There's some scenes that are just freaking phenomenal. And I really have to talk about a scene between Julianne and Donald, where Donald plays his character Jackie. Jackie is no good. Jackie happens to be, for lack of better words, a drug dealer, tax collector. And if Claire's not going to pay up, well, he goes to the next best thing. That's Kate. Well, listen, there's a scene between the two of them where Donald is in his car, and there's some money being exchanged, and we see the two of them and some exchange of words. But I got to tell you, Julianne, just the emotions in this scene, but also you actually see the emotions in Donald as well too. But they work so good together in this one particular scene. It is, I honestly, since you get to see it on Apple TV Plus, you probably want to rewatch it multiple times because it is impactful to no end. I love this scene. And then when I have to give props to Sweeney, because as Claire, you have to really, and we know her work in Euphoria, so obviously being very close to this subject matter, but in being a recovering addict or just flat out addict in this rate, we have to believe it. We have to believe how unhinged she is. To what degree is she going to go to get her fix and to deceive people, but also the measure of desperation for the people she owed, the trouble that she's involved with. She's believable in every scene. And we all know Sydney is a very attractive woman. But she's down, dirty, and gritty in this. And you don't see that Sydney that you see walking on the red carpet or even in other roles. She's almost not her in this. So that's acting. You get what I mean? That's acting. And then, as much as I praise Julianne and her performance, and she's truly the star, Fiona Shaw is... I gotta tell you about Fiona Shaw real quick, y'all. Fiona plays this character Jess, and Jess is to the T the type of friend you want in your corner at all times. She is loyal, she gives good advice, she's one call away, and she can read between the lines. You may not want to say what you want to say, you may not be given the answer that you want to give, but Jess sees right through it, and that's all I'm gonna say about the character. But she's phenomenal, and her and Julianne have some very energetic scenes together, but also they have some badass scenes together too. So yeah. So with everything, there's a lot of emotion, suspense. There's moments where you're really gripping onto your seat because you just don't know what's going to happen next. There's jaw-dropping moments because of all the twists and turns. It's an incredibly emotional ride, especially at the end where I was like, I know we're not going there. It looks like we're going there. Yes, we're going there. And yeah, it's an incredible film. And truly, throughout the film, you're going to be wondering, how they're going to wrap this up. And they nail it. They absolutely nail it. They bring the story all the way together. And I also will say, too, that I feel like there was some metaphorical moments within the film, especially how this film ends. Let's talk about the ending of this film really quick. Not giving anything away, but the film does end sort of in in an open capacity, left to the viewer's interpretation. And I'm not quite sure what I think happens next. I got some thoughts, but I'm still really trying to process it. I want to watch this film again. It's really that good. But I'm curious about what you all want to like interpret as the ending, because the ending is left open and it makes you wonder a couple of different things. And really with some of the themes in this film in terms of new beginnings, forgiveness, I would even say boundaries for family, you kind of want to like what's next and what's really next for this family and all folks involved. Were lessons learned? Do we mature and move on? Do we put it into certain things? Like it leaves you all of that. And I'm very curious to know what you all will make of the endings. But yeah, there's a lot of little metaphorical stuff. And I really did like the idea of really trying to figure out who's playing who's really the head of the table and everything. And one other real thing I want to say, I really don't say this often in too many reviews, but I got to give it props here with a particular scene with Fiona and Julianne, and they're catching up. I thought the editing was very good too, because most of the times in stories, you have to hit every scene in order to tell a story. I thought they used effective ways to insert things you needed, but also remove things you didn't need it, but it never lost the continuity of the story. Definitely have to give props to that, because there's a couple of different times where you're kind of like, wait, did they have that conversation or did that happen? And it didn't, but it worked effectively in terms of where they wanted to really invoke the emotions from one part to the next. So it's good, man. It's a really good film. I really enjoyed this one. I definitely will be checking this out again. Fantastic film. Probably gonna be one of my favorite films this year. So yeah, listen, check it out. Absolutely check this one out. Up and down the board, fantastic cast. Sydney, Donald, Fiona, Julianne, just up and down the board. Everybody did such a fantastic job, and definitely let me know your thoughts about the ending, what you thought the ending is sort of setting up, or what's potential for if the story was to go further, what would the next scene really be? I mean, they leave it open for us to have these conversations, and I think we need to walk through the door and have these conversations here. So definitely let me know. But yeah, once again, Echo Valley coming to Apple TV Plus June 13th. This is one you don't want to miss out on. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about it once you do check it out. And as always, stick around for more reviews and content here at Big Gold Belt Media very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.
I